What's up, everybody? My name is Jason, and welcome to Breaking News. The SBA says between 50 and 87% of EIDL applicants could get funded. Happy Tuesday afternoon to you. Please do me a huge favor. Give this video a thumbs up, hashtag EIDL, the comments below. Don't forget, you can join us over at trysmallbiz.com where you can advertise your company for free or for just $1 a day. This guy right here will promote you to more than 100,000 people on social media. That's trysmallbiz.com. Make sure you get started today. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to try to make sense of a very complex situation based upon 3 documents, 2 of which at least I have shared on Twitter. Actually, all 3, in fact, at trysmallbiz. If you're not following me on Twitter, you're making a huge mistake. At trysmallbiz, username smallbiz. The first one is based on a congressional inquiry where a number of congressmen and women, including a few senators, sent the SBA a number of questions, and they answered. This document, which again is pinned on Twitter, is about 2.5 weeks old. I'm then going to show you a clip of a video from a congressional hearing just 4 or 5 days ago, where one of the gentlemen in that video said 61,000 of roughly 70 or so are eligible to get funded, but are they? And then I'm going to share with you in conclusion an article from the Biz Journal that claims, as of last night, the SBA has enough money without having to use transfer authority to fund all those that are eligible. So is it a throwback Is it Throwback Tuesday? No, it's Turnaround Tuesday in the stock market. It wasn't really the case. Well, actually, it was. We were down 400. We've finished close to break even. Pull up a chair. Grab yourself a cup of coffee, ice cold bottle of water, whiskey on a big rock. Here we go. I just got out of the shower from working out. It's hot and humid as hell in Atlanta. So if it looks like I'm still sweating, I am, but this is primarily good news for at least most of you. So I'm going to attempt to clarify the confusion, because if you call the SBA customer service line, they're going to say, oh, we're out of money. They've been saying that now for 2 or 3 weeks. I don't know who's telling these idiots what to tell you or what to say, but bottom line, it doesn't coincide with what I'm going to share with you right now. So let me get right to it, and then I'll summarize what you need to do. And if you got a question, as I've said now for 2.5 months, we turned 3 months old on Friday. At Try Small Biz, you just become a member. You scroll to the bottom, you fill out the Contact Us form, and I'll get back to you within 24 hours. By the way, before I get there, and this is not going to be a long-winded pitch like I gave you yesterday, where we doubled the number of features for everyone on the site. We had a high-profile coach join our network, and I'm sure he or she's watching me right now. And they had a question on EIDL. Well, I didn't get back to them within an hour. They wrote a scathing email, wanted a refund, $365 paid up front, and said, words to the effect, if this is the kind of service I'm going to get as a VIP member, I want out. My mother, who rests her soul, is in heaven right now, says, this is a family show. So I'd have some rather choice words for this particular man or woman, but suffice it to say, if you're going to be that much of a prick, we don't want your business. We're looking for 1,000 people, and there will be no more, who are willing to give me 3 years. You invest 1,000 or thereabouts over a 3-year period, I can promise you it's going to make you more money than Joe Biden's stock market. So with that said, and that's the gosh darn truth, let's start with a congressional inquiry, and then we'll get right to the video. This, again, is pinned on Twitter. It's 3 pages long. This is the SBA's response. I want to read to you one paragraph in particular, and forgive me, my eyes are not so good. Quote, this is under pending applications. There are approximately 60,000 total applications. This is as of about May 3rd, before the Friday, May 6th deadline. Active categories that were not decisioned prior to the funds being exhausted, right? They came out on May 5th. Ben Cardin and Chris Von Holland said, bullshit, use transfer authority. You're not supposed to cut the program off 24 hours early. But they claimed there was 60,000 or thereabouts in the queue at around May the 3rd or 4th, a couple days before the May 6th deadline. Goes on to say that the SBA continues to review those files and anticipates that an estimated 35 to 40,000 of those applications could satisfy all requirements and thus be approved to be funded as of May 16th. All right. What did they just say? They said as of about 2.5 weeks ago there was 60,000 people left. And if you remember, I've been being told now for weeks that all they need is another $5 billion to get everyone funded. Well, that everyone funded must be around 60,000 people. They said in the same response to Congress, about half to slightly more, 35 to 40,000, are probably going to be eligible to get funded. It goes on to say that there's about 7,500 requests for reconsideration that are probably, in so many words, and you can read it, it's pinned, not going to be eligible. So when I say between 50 and 87 or 88% are eligible, that's based on the math. There was 60,000 in there. There's 35 to 40,000 they thought were going to be easy sail-throughs, and only 7,500, or about 13%, were in deep doo-doo. But it's not over yet, so don't go anywhere. So let me try and do something now that I'm not very good at, because if you've been on this channel for more than, almost 2 years and a couple months, I don't edit. I speak right from the heart every effing day, and I don't share screens, although I need to learn how to do that when I get myself a fancy camera, hopefully soon. But I'm about to play a video for Miss Nydia Velasquez. She was the chairwoman on the Democrat side in the House. She is asking an associate administrator at the SBA by the name of Patrick Kelly, what the hell is going on? My constituents want to know where their money is. So this is only about a minute or half or two. When I get done showing you this by turning around the camera, I will summarize what the Biz Journal said about the SBA having plenty of money. So here we go. That's my iMac, 24-inch screen.
Myself for 5 minutes. Mr. Kelly, earlier this month, we learned COVID EIDL funds had run out. And I am concerned that the agency did not have a more detailed plan to notify constituents about the changes in the program. Mr. Kelly, could you please let the committee know where the breakdown occurred, and what do we say to our constituents who have been dealing with this confusion?
Sure, thank you, Chairwoman. First off, it's important to note that there were about 61,000 workable files at the close of business on May 6th. And all of those workable files across appeals, reconsiderations, and loan modification requests that are eligible for funding did in fact get approved for funding and have funds obligated. And that's as of Monday, May 16th. There is a population, for example, within the reconsideration, which was roughly about 9,000 applications for which folks will not be approved, were not approved. And that's the result of issues related to credit criteria, tax information, various issues. But I do want this committee to know, and for the small businesses to know, that we did honor all of the applications that were in before the funding expired.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, I hope that came across as somewhat eligible. Allow me to fix my camera here. This guy by the name of Patrick Kelly just said, as far as my ears are concerned, that 61,000 applications that got in prior to the Friday, May 6th deadline are on their way to being obligated, funded, or funding. And then he said about 9,000, 7,500 of which, based on the letter I just read out loud from, again, it's pinned on Twitter, are not going to make it. So based on my third grade math, at least half to as much as 87 or 88% of you that got in on time, according to this guy, and you're welcome to watch the video, it's also on my Twitter wall at TrySmallBiz, are in line to get funded. And may I remind everybody, even though the document says 10 days once you get approved to get funded, it's taking 5 or 6 weeks in many cases. So here's the bottom line. Based on an article from Biz Journal that's also on my Twitter wall, they supposedly interviewed the SBA as of yesterday, and they said we don't have to use transfer authority because they have a number of canceled applications. Believe it or not, there are people that signed closing docs or were offered $2 million, and they either decided not to take it or they skinned it way down to a couple $100,000. They're claiming that amounts to a couple $1 billion based on this article. You got to pay for their service. I think it's $9 a month, but I'm telling you, this guy is trying to say that the SBA told him as of yesterday They don't have to move money around in order to fund those 61,000 or thereabouts that he must be referring to. Which brings me to my final point. I am deeply concerned about the people that have been stuck in the queue for upwards of 18 months that had no communication. I'm pretty much being told, and you can disagree in the comments below if you want to, that if you got in by Friday, May 6th, you were told you were approved, you had a loan officer call you, and I've shared many examples on our wall and on Twitter. There's loan officers still calling people. So don't effing tell me they're not getting funded. I don't know who these people are. Maybe it's the sophisticated ones that have been there for many years. They have empathy for people like you because according to the Biz Journal, they're not out of money no matter what those customer service $12 an hour idiots are telling you. Some of them are okay, but my goodness, those are the same a-holes that hang up on you for the last 12 months. Regardless of where we stand, most of you are going to get your money. For those of you 13, 15, whatever it is, 20%, I'm not going to stop. If I've demonstrated anything in the last 2 years, I will not quit. I will not rest. I am pounding away. I will articulate what I said yesterday. Watch the video if you haven't. I am recommending that Congress claw back, according to the Wall Street Journal, $113 billion of unspent COVID relief funds. And now I said that, they're going to put that fucking disclaimer on the video. If they're not going to spend it, let's create the small business wall in Washington, D.C. We got a 9/11 wall. We got a Wailing Wall. We got walls, Vietnam Wall. We got walls all over the place. By the way, shout out to all of those who have served this country. I love veterans. But create a wall. And any school that sends back some or all of the money that they can't seem to spend, they will put their logo on that wall. They will get a tax credit. And they will be able to say that we support the restaurants and small business owners, a.k.a. backbone of this country. So ladies and gentlemen, if you have a question, you know how to email. Thank you very much to the 160 who have become premium members. Without your support, this will not be possible. I have 2 major upgrades to share with you tomorrow or the next day. So until next time, always remember that we love you and thank you so much for watching.